Middle of February and we got rain out there. All right, this is the Trapdoor Woodworks Dream Woodshop build update number 15, and we have a lot to show this time. In the last update, I had that Dexter room here. I had plastic on this whole wall, kind of reminded me of the show Dexter. But anyways, I was about to put in this blocking. As you can see, the blocking is in. We have batt insulation on this whole wall. I have this 1.5 inch XPS just kind of leaned up on both sides of the door. I also have plastic stapled all the way around it. That's just to keep the heat in. It was -13 a few days after I got this finished off, but it's fairly warm out now. Let's take a look up there. Up here in the attic, I have all of the R19 in place. I have the R30 plus the topper on top of that on both sides. That's so I can blow in insulation up to that. And I've started on the insulation that's going to go across this edge. I need to leave this open so I can put some boards through there. I'm going to have to crawl to the other end to blow that insulation in. That should be pretty interesting, but that's not going to happen for at least a couple weeks, maybe even a month. I moved this big stack of plywood in here that used to be out there by the garage door. That's 47 sheets of 3/4 inch plywood. That's going on the walls real soon. And to move that, I used this tiny little dolly. This is a plywood and drywall dolly. It worked really well. If you go see that video, you'll see how I did that. And of course, we have the entire wall covered in 1.5 inch XPS insulation, rigid insulation. And we have a backer board in, the F&J, and the final piece of tin in the ceiling. The ceiling is completely done. The furnace has not been kicking on. It basically stays off the majority of the day. It's been in the 20s and low 30s at night, and I have it set at 40 degrees. But once it goes off at night, it basically takes forever for this place to start cooling down. So the insulation is working really well. What I have going in the next couple weeks is getting the girts on this wall. That is a lot of this material right here and some of the material down there. And we have a bunch of return lumber here. I'm going to get that out of here. And in the coming weeks, I'm going to start machining this plywood and attaching it to the walls. First, I'm going to shoot a laser line around the entire room. That should be interesting as well. Then I'll start routing the panels and popping them on the wall. We'll start in this corner here. And as soon as I get to the window there, I'm going to tip this box out. This is the temporary electric setup. I'll tip the box out. Once I have the plywood past it, I'll put this big wire here in conduit, attach the box permanently, and run conduit up. This will go in conduit up through the ceiling there. Then I can attach my other box on this side. So I'll start with the plywood from that corner, get past where the box is going to go, and basically do the same thing on that side. Then I'll have power on both sides of the shop, and I can start running outlets, at least a few of them. And when I get the plywood into this area right here, I'm going to be installing a big mini split right about there. That should be pretty interesting too. It needs to be melted outside before I can finish that job, and that's going to be maybe a couple months. But I at least need to get the interior part mounted and the hole through the wall. I can do the outside part when weather is permitting. But like I said, that's going to be an interesting project as well. This place eventually will have 3 different ways of heating it, and it'll be air conditioned. The next month or 2 in here is going to be very busy as I get these walls in. There's also going to be tin on the upper part of this wall. This wall and this wall are going to be solid plywood. It's going to be really interesting. We're going to be doing a lot of electrical work as well. And this summer, I'm going to be building furniture for that barn right there. We're turning that into a tiny house, and I'll be making some tiny furniture for it. So make sure you subscribe and stop back often. We got some interesting stuff going on here.